In week 1, it was just the Cleveland Browns. Last week, it was just the Chicago Bears. Now on Sunday, it's just the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Owens is here. I'm Adrian Fedke. You know, those fans in the Steel City, they're fairly confident this Sunday. They think a win is coming. It's a Steel certain. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, if Sam Bradford was playing this game, then I think the Steelers fans can be pretty confident. But I guess that the Steelers fans, they haven't heard the Wentz wagon, traveling around the country right now and making the noise that it is. The Steelers fans must be deaf to it. But, Carson Wentz, he's a talk of the town, really the talk of the country right now. The guy is playing outstanding football for only 2 NFL games. And, we both believe that he's the real deal. And I don't think that just because it was the Browns or the Bears, that doesn't mean anything. These guys are their NFL teams. And why I think Carson Wentz is a real deal is you have to look at what he's doing at the line of scrimmage. And, that says it all. He's going up there and he's showing that he's studying during the week. He's making the adjustments at the line, making the right calls, and he's really protecting himself in the pocket and just making some outstanding throws at this point in his career. So he's playing like a veteran, and I got his jersey today. We've both been on the wagon for a long time, long before anyone else. And, this game on Sunday, well, it's really going to be a deciding game for the Eagles because we're going to be able to tell, what level this team is at.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to find out Sunday if this team can actually compete and win a playoff game. That's basically what it comes down to on Sunday. And, you're not kidding, man. Remember back in last November, we were like, we should trade back in the first round, draft Carson Wentz. We should do that. Definitely, for sure. We kept watching this kid. And we're like, oh, my God, this kid's amazing. His rocket arm, his velocity, his fucking ball accuracy, how it came out of his head. He was exceptional. Watching these highlights, watching these videos, watching these films, and oh my God, the fact that we got him now, it's insane. It really is. And let's get to the Steelers. Okay, so this is why this matchup presents another different test for Wentz. So first week he goes up against Ray Horton, aggressive style, defensive coordinator, a lot of blitzing coming from all different angles. Week 2, he sees Vic Fangio, disguises his coverages. So you see a test of blitzing and you see a test of disguising. This week, it's going to be about being in a shootout, taking more chances down the field because you're going up against that high-powered Steelers offense. So this game is about Wentz more than the first 3 because he's going to have to keep up with Big Ben. Now, in terms of a defensive philosophy, they like to bring their linebackers up the middle. They like to blitz the A-gaps. And they like their corners to play man coverage. So, and these cornerbacks, you can feast on them a little bit. Although our wideouts aren't very good.
Yeah, you bring up our wideouts and some of the drop passes that we had. And that's why in this game, the Eagles on offense, they're going to have to capitalize on these opportunities that they've been missing. And that's why when you play teams like the Browns and the Bears, you can get away with missing some opportunities here and there. But we can't have guys like Aguilar and Matthews, dropping perfect passes from Wentz for possible touchdowns in this game. Everyone's really got to be on the top of their game in this one. And like you said, Wentz just has to continue like he's been doing in taking chances down the field because the Eagles aren't going to be able to dink and dunk their way to victory in this one. They're really going to have to, put up 29 points like they have been to have a shot to win this game.
Yeah, first one of 30 wins. That's what it is on Sunday. And, this Steelers defense can be had. This isn't like, some people are saying that the Eagles have no shot. And I'm just like, why? What's so scary about this Steelers defense? Seriously. You're scared of fucking Ross Cockrell? Cockle-doodle fucking do? Ross Cockrell? I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of that front seven. Who's going to be bringing the pressure? They don't have guys like Jarvis Jones. Bust. Who else do they have? Who's going to be bringing the heat? I'm telling
you. You look at it, I mean, their front seven, though, the guy that gets scares you the most is Ryan Shazier.
I'm talking, yeah. I mean, obviously he's going to bring pressure as a middle linebacker, but I'm talking about like every snap. You know, whether you're a 3-4 DN or an outside linebacker, who's going to be bringing the heat? I don't like Shazier. Sure, he's an opportunistic blitzer. Yeah.
I'm saying he's really the only guy that would, scare you if you're an Eagles fan. But yeah, I mean, besides that, I mean, this definitely isn't, the vaunted Steelers defense of the old. So the Eagles are definitely going to have their opportunities. But when I look at the game, what I think that, Doug Peterson has done a really nice job of in the first two games, especially on the first series, is establishing a good game plan for Wentz to get comfortable and really come out and succeed. And we'll see what they do here against the Steelers. We'll see if they go run heavy or pass heavy. The first game, it was kind of a combination of both. They did some running in the Browns to get Wentz settled in, and they did a lot of short passes before Wentz connected with like about a 20-yard pass to Matthews for that touchdown. But then in this last game against the Bears, it was kind of completely different. They went with a no back set, and they really just handed over the keys to Wentz, and he pretty much was passing the ball all over the field. Really no running plays at all. So we'll see how they decide to start the game off against the Steelers.
I think they're going to try to limit these possessions. So in order for the Eagles to win this game, you're going to have to limit these possessions to under 10. 10 for both teams. So the average in the NFL, it's about 12. And teams that kind of score more points, like say the Eagles last year, they were averaging about 14 to 16 possessions a game under that Chip Kelly attack. So they need to sustain possession of the ball. They need to run the ball a lot, keep themselves in manageable third down situations, and just keep running the clock. You know that first drive from Monday night when Wentz was 8 of 9, everything was kind of dink and dunk and not take many chances? I think they're going to have to do a lot of that for like the first 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, you kind of hang around. And then in the fourth quarter, you let Wentz go fucking win this game. See what he's got. That's how I would do this. So you use the 13 personnel, you put Tobin in there as your third tight end. However, whatever you want to call Tobin now, I don't know. Tight end, tackle, guard, whatever. But I think they got to utilize these sets and, run the ball. You have 8 offensive linemen basically on the line of scrimmage, even though 2 are tight ends. So you run the ball, and you can also throw out of this formation. So you stay conservative. And you can stay conservative against Pittsburgh because their defense isn't very good. So you can stay conservative, just take your 5 to 10 yard chunks and just slowly go your way down the field. And hopefully by the time the fourth quarter rolls around, each team has seen the ball maybe, 6 to 7 times.
Yeah, and, I've really been a fan of what Peterson has been doing with this play calling. Where I kind of questioned it last week is in the beginning of the game, they were using Darren Sproles a ton as a running back. I'm not really a big fan of him being a running back this late in his career. I would rather them have Ryan Matthews in there, and I really hope on Sunday the game plan is to, you start out and you got to, pound the ball at Ryan Matthews. He's your best back. They really just got to have Sproles as that specialty player, just line him up all over the field, line him up as a wide receiver, really utilize him as just a third down back. But not sure how you feel about this, but I wasn't really a fan of them having, utilizing Sproles so early in that Bears game.
Yeah, they've utilized their backs very. It's been balanced, the carries between all the backs. And Sproles last week led all the backs with 12 carries for 40 yards. So they ran for over 100, I believe, or maybe 100 right on the number against the Bears. And Sproles had 40 of them. So as you can see, it was kind of spread out. I'm running Ryan Matthews. Like, that's my running back, not Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles shouldn't be seeing more than 10 carries a game, and he had 12. So I would definitely change that up. I'd have Ryan Matthews run behind those, the 13 personnel sets, run off that right side of the line, and have him go to work. That's how I would do it. And going back to Peterson, man, like all these formations, I love all the utilization of all the different formations and the scheme and just he's incorporating every single player's strength into the offense, and that's what we're seeing. There's still plenty of stuff I don't like, but it's a rookie coach, and that's whatever. Like I'm never going for a 4th and goal from the 2-yard line when you're up by 15 points. That is fucking stupid. I am not throwing a fucking little pass out to the flat on a 3rd and 10. I'm not going to do that. So there are some things that I don't like from Doug, but for the most part, I mean, I love what I'm seeing too.
Yeah, and it's always good when we can use Josh Huff as a decoy on plays. I don't like when we do anything to try to get him involved in the game. So, yeah, let's just keep Josh Huff as a decoy on these, and that would be great. But yeah, I mean, you got it. It was a great play design on the touchdown pass to Burton in the last game against the Bears. I love that play call. And, Burton's the guy who kind of, with the Ertz being out, Burton's kind of really taken on the role that Ertz has played. He's really becoming that pass-catching tight end. And it's really kind of, a breakout time for Burton because he's never played this much offensively. He's been mainly used as a special teams guy. But, this year he's, proving that he can definitely be that 2nd or 3rd tight end.
Yeah, and I said this in last week's show, actually it was Monday's show, Tuesday's show. It was 2 days ago. 2 days ago we did our show. But, yeah, man, I mean, Burton, what he's been doing, unbelievable. What we saw in the preseason, it translated to the regular season. Line him up everywhere, slot, wide receiver, halfback, whatever. Put him wherever you want, and he makes plays. So, again, it's hiding deficiencies at wide receiver because all you really have is Jordan Matthews. Nelson Agholor has shown some signs, some encouragement. I still think you got to check his B sample because I don't know what the fuck's going on with him, but Josh Huff is still a bum. And DGB is barely even seeing the field.
Yeah. With Agholor, he's we're seeing some signs here finally, thank God. But at the same time, this game on Monday night against the Bears, some of these passes, he's dropping touchdown passes. The one pass that he dropped that, it should have been pass interference, the one where Wentz, it was 3rd and 20. Wentz rolls out to his right and he throws an absolute bomb off his back foot, and the ball lands in Aguilar's hands. He was getting, interfered on the play, but still, he's got to make the catch. And it's just things like that when I was talking about earlier. Those are opportunities in this game against the Steelers. Eagles have to capitalize on. They got to make those type of catches if they want to, have a shot to win this game.
Yeah, you got to play a pretty flawless game. It's gonna have to look a little bit like that Patriots game last year. And you brought this up, before we went on. Just forcing some turnovers, and not only just forcing turnovers, but taking it back to the house. So this means Darren Sproles punt return, whatever. You got to get some type of other score. I think to win this game.
Yeah, no, you definitely do. And hopefully it comes early on in the game. because the fans are gonna, be jacked up for this one. So maybe play defense first. We can get a turnover. Maybe return it for a touchdown or get great field position and set up our offense. That would really fire up the fans and really fire up the Eagles' offense and Wentz. So it's going to be all about momentum in this game. Hopefully, we can just carry that momentum from the crowd, and hopefully it carries over to the players, and we can put up some points early. Because I think in this game, the key is going to be maybe getting out to a little bit of a lead early on. If they can jump out to maybe a 7 or a 10-0 lead, I think that'll really help them as the game goes along, because the Steelers are going to put up the points and they're going to be there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I want to see DG get the ball in this game. I don't give a fuck if he's not ready or if he doesn't know the playbook. Just send him out there. Damn it. This game on Sunday, all right, as I explained, they like to bring pressure up the middle, man coverage on the outside, one-on-one coverage. Oh, my God. DGB on Ross Cockrell. Touchdown. Please make it happen. He can outleap Ross Cockrell. Fucking cockle-doodle-doo, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, he can jump them. So it's about time that they start throwing these fade routes to DGB in the end zone. Saw it in the preseason. We haven't seen it in the regular season yet, but DGB has done some nice things here so far in the regular season. He's made a catch here and there. So it's good to see. We're getting a lot more production from him than we did from Dennis Kelly. So it's a win-win situation there.
Oh boy, Dennis Kelly. I wonder if they would have utilized him on that little 13 personnel package. They would have done a little bit of that. All right.
But Dennis Kelly, he's probably wouldn't even made this team.
No, I don't think so. He's terrible. He's fucking trash. He's a turnstile. That's why he's gone. All right, let's talk about Ben Roethlisberger. So he's thrown the ball just 3 more times than Wentz, which is kind of crazy. Wentz has thrown the ball 30-plus times in each game. First time in 50 years that somebody's done that, by the way. So Roethlisberger has thrown the ball just 3 more times, but he has 3 more completions and 3 more touchdowns, 91 more yards. So as you can see, that's where the veteran comes into play. Veteran leadership there comes into play. He's taking more shots downfield than Wentz. As we can see, Wentz has been a little bit more conservative, kind of handcuff a little bit. But there's a lot of similarities between these two guys. Both small school guys, big-bodied quarterbacks that keep plays alive with their feet, keep their eyes downfield. They can kind of just, shrug off contact and still make plays. I think Ben has the stronger arm of the two, but Wentz can still get it down the field. And the one thing where Big Ben does have Wentz beat right now, though, is keeping those ribs less exposed.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Wentz definitely has to learn how to limit the big hits when he takes off and runs. Some of these hits in the pocket you're going to take no matter what, but when Wentz is off and running, he's got to limit those hits. But you talk about Roethlisberger, Wentz, very similar in their body type. But with Roethlisberger, you know what you're getting. He's going to stand back there in the pocket. He's going to elude defenders. Guys are going to bounce off him because he's so big. So the Eagles really have to make sure that they get after him. I'll never forget, the game in 2008, the last time that the Steelers visited Philadelphia. Eagles did an outstanding job of, dialing up blitzes in that game and really getting after Big Ben. Brian Dawkins, I still see him diving in the air and stripping the ball away from Big Ben. So that's what the Eagles have to do in this game. With Big Ben, you can't really try to go after his body and bring him down. You got to go after the legs, or you got to go after the ball and try to strip it away from him. And really, I think where this game could get away from the Eagles is their defensive backs, because without McKelvin in there, we're kind of limited with our depth. I mean, Jalen Mills, he did a nice job against the Bears, but he also showed that he's definitely a rookie. And yeah, so it could be tough. I mean, Ron Brooks obviously is a very average NFL quarterback, if that. So the fact that he's starting with Nolan Carroll, it's going to be tough for these defensive backs. So that's why got to get pressure on Big Ben. If you don't, it could be dangerous when you're looking at guys like Antonio Brown and Sammy Coates, and then now they have Eli Rogers that Big Ben likes to go to. So, tough challenge here for this Eagles defense, and especially for the defensive backs.
I'm petrified of Antonio Brown. Who the fuck is going to stop this guy? Seriously. We got nobody that can tackle after the catch. Maybe Jalen Mills a little bit, but even he missed a tackle last week. So you want to talk about where the Eagles secondary can get exposed. It's with elusiveness, it's with quickness, it's with shiftiness. Antonio Brown is among the best with the ball in his hands in the league. Him and Odell Beckham. Well, take your pick. Okay? And Eli Rogers has some subtleness to him too. So I'm a little bit scared of these two. Sammy Coates, Darius Hayward-Bay, these guys don't scare me at all. We took care of them in the preseason. If you look at Nolan Carroll's strength, he's good at playing the deep ball. All right, so he can ride the hip of the wide receivers down the sideline. He can make plays on the ball. He just can't take on like a big physical guy, because then he gets out muscled. But Coates and Hayward-Bay, these guys are I'm afraid of. But oh my God, Carroll's going to miss at least 2 or 3 tackles against Brown. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So we just got to pray to God that Antonio Brown doesn't go off on us. Somehow we managed to contain Alshon Jeffrey somewhat, and most of that was due to the fact that Jay Cutler is a moron, and also that the Bears are morons for not continuing to just chuck the ball up to Alshon Jeffrey all game. But with Big Ben, he's no Jay Cutler. He knows that he's got to get the ball to his best player, so he's going to get it to Antonio Brown. If there's a saving grace in this game, is that we don't have to face Le'Veon Bell. He's going to be, sitting for the final game here during his suspension. We will face D'Angelo Williams, who is still, very solid starter in this league, but he's no Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. All right, so in order to hide Antonio Brown's production, hopefully, the defensive ends can get some pressure on the tackles. So you got Alejandro Villanueva as your left tackle, former Army Ranger. Chip Kelly signed him to play D-line, and we cut him, and he went to Pittsburgh, and he became starter, and he's actually pretty good. Right tackle, Marcus Gilchrist. I don't think people know how good he is. He's actually pretty underrated. So it's a nice little stiff test for our defensive ends. Vinny Curry, Brandon Graham, Connor Barwin. So they're going to have to get some pressure on the quarterback, and they're going to have to set some hard edges, because D'Angelo likes to bounce it to the outside. So going to have to set the edges, and hopefully Benny Logan, Fletcher Cox, they can kind of handle themselves inside, going up against David DeCastro, Marquise Pouncey, and Ramon Foster. So that's a pretty good trio to go up against. So, I don't think D'Angelo is going to have that big of a game, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he went off.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Hopefully we can keep D'Angelo Williams to, you would hope maybe 75 yards, under 100. Really, I think this year so far, we've really, the run hasn't really been that much of an issue. There's been times where we've kind of struggled against this, but those are times when we've kind of lined up in that wide 9 formation, and teams have kind of got us with the running game. But when we're lined up in our regular formation there on D, we've kind of done a nice job of stopping the run. So I think that in this game, it's really not going to be the running game that's going to hurt us as much. It's just going to be the Steelers' passing attack is where that they could really get to us and feast on our defensive backs.
Yeah. I talked to some Steelers fans yesterday, and they don't think we're going to be able to run the ball. And well, their thing was, I believe they've only let up like 50 yards rushing so far, or either they've let up 50 yards rushing or they've allowed 50 yards rushing per game. But I saw that teams have only ran on them 30 times, so they really haven't been tested yet. So I like these. No, stop it, Steelers fans. So we'll see. I think Brandon Brooks has done an extraordinary job already. Lane Johnson's going to get to play this game, so that's kind of where they've been kind of going. Brooks and Johnson's side, and get those 3 tight ends on that side too. I think you can run the ball a little bit. I don't care what the stats say. The Steelers were getting thrown on a lot because they were ahead against Washington, and Cincinnati had to play from behind the second half. So that's why they haven't had to run the ball on them a lot. So, this is something, man. You got to keep it balanced. You got to keep that clock moving. You limit the possessions. And, again, man, just hang around, and hopefully Wentz can win it for you in the fourth.
Yeah, we're so early in the season where you really can't bring the stat factor into play. The stats you really can't start looking at until about week 5 or 6, and that's about the time you start to separate the contenders from the pretenders. So, that's when you can really start bringing up the stats. It's still so early on in the season, and you talk about the Eagles' running game. I think that, the next step for this Eagles running attack is going to be getting Wentz involved in their running attack and, kind of having him, take some of these runs by himself. You're going to kind of see that in this game. I hope they do it because I've seen plays this year where Wentz has had, if he wanted to, he could have done it. He could have faked the handoff and went the other way, down the other sideline. So I think you're going to see that in this game. Maybe not much of it, but I think you might see Wentz take off for, 2 or 3 runs here.
Yeah. Okay. As long as Tyler Matakevich doesn't knock him the fuck out. Because Tyler Matakevich, best player on the team.
And he knows how to play at the link, so.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. TU, baby. TU. I honestly thought about getting a Matakevich jersey, but, I can't buy a Steelers jersey. It's disgusting.
That was tough because, he was still there late. What, did they get him in the 7th round?
Yeah.
It was either the 6th or the 7th because I think the Eagles had a shot at getting him.
Yeah, he was 7th rounder.
Or it was something where the Steelers got him right before the Eagles or something. But he was there. The Eagles could have got him. He could have been an Eagle. But instead, he's a Steeler. He stayed in the state of Pennsylvania. But he's a hell of an athlete.
Those Steelers jerseys are pretty hideous.
Yeah,
I don't know what's more hideous. I don't know if I'd rather wipe my ass with one of those terrible towels or a jersey.
Well, at least I think this is the last year for the Bumblebee jerseys. I think they're finally going to get rid of them after this season.
Jesus Christ. I don't want to comment. These are fucking hideous. All right, let's do some predictions for the game. Who you got?
Man,
are you gonna do it?
I want to do it. If I'm thinking in my Eagles state of mind, I would pick the Eagles, but I'm going to take an unbiased opinion on this game. And I think that, this is going to be a game. I think Wentz is going to throw his first interception. I think we're going to struggle a bit. This Steelers team is very good. They're a Super Bowl contender. I'm going to say that the Eagles are going to end up losing this game by 7. We're going to be in it in the fourth quarter, but I just think it's going to be one of those things where the Steelers are going to be able to feast on our cornerbacks at the end of the game, and Antonio Brown will come up with the late score, and the Steelers will beat us 30-23.
Dude, I pretty much have the same number, 31-24, and the same explanation. Like, I think we'll hang around, and they'll kind of pull away in the fourth, and that's kind of what I'm seeing. So I think Wentz will throw over 300 yards though, and I think he'll throw for maybe even 3 touchdowns, probably 2 more likely. But I think he can throw some scores, and I'm telling you guys again, like people are just saying it's just the Browns and it's just the Bears, but you can make the argument that the Steelers' defense, at least their secondary, it's worse than the Bears and Browns. So, you can say it's just this, just that, but this might be an easier test for Carson anyway.
Yeah, and these people say, oh, the first week, it's just the Browns. And I mean, but you go back and you look at that game, the one pass that Wentz made to Nelson Aguilar for a touchdown. I mean, that was against Joe Hayden. That's just not against any Joe Smo cornerback. And then you go and then you talk about a Monday night game in Chicago. It's Wentz's first road game, and it's a Monday night game at Soldier Field. So that's no small task there. That's a big task. So, like I said earlier in the show, this isn't a thing where Wentz is just making the throws and showing his athletic ability. This is where Wentz is at. He's using his brain cells. He's going up to the line and he's making the call. So I think that's why you can tell that he's a real deal, because he's showing that he's studying during the week and preparing for the game. And when he gets out there on Sunday, he's reading the blitzes. And, not too many rookie quarterbacks can do that.
I don't know if you watched it last show, Mike, but Carson Wentz is the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yes. Yeah, he definitely is at this point. Eli is just getting older and older. Dak looks, he's pretty average at this point. He's not doing anything spectacular to me. And, really Kirk Cousins, he's kind of falling off the face of the earth after his one good season last year. So, yeah, I think that the way Wentz is playing right now, he's definitely playing like the best quarterback in the division.
Dude, I'll tell you what, though. I am pretty impressed with Dak. I like what I'm seeing from Dak. I am.
Yeah, the thing with Dak that I kind of see, though, I kind of see him as more of a game. He's being more of a game manager type of thing. He's not doing anything that's extraordinary. He's not turning the ball over, so he's being a game manager. With Wentz, you're seeing. Wentz is making the throws, and he's making throws under pressure, and that's really the biggest thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like I mean, it's an easy comparison to make Dak Prescott to Russell Wilson, and you look back at Russell Wilson's first year, and he did the same kind of thing. He was a 3rd-round starter. Dak is a 4th-round starter, starting as a rookie. But Russell Wilson, everything was kind of basic with him coming out. So, 3 to 4 years from now, I think Dak can be the real deal. And Cowboys and Eagles, it's going to be a heated rivalry, as it always is. So, that's going to be a lot of fun next 5 to 10 years. Dak, Carson, Dez, Zeke, and hopefully the Eagles will get some more weapons over time.
Oh, yeah, no, it's going to be, a hell of a rivalry, kind of renewed here. Can't wait for it. So, we play them week 8 in Dallas, and then we play them in the last game of the season here in Philly on New Year's Day. So, beginning of the season, we probably thought that last game against Dallas probably wouldn't mean anything, but right now it could very well mean something for both teams. But right now it's looking like it's most likely going to mean something for the Eagles.
Before we get to final thoughts, what is now your ceiling for this team? How many games can they win?
I'm going with 10. I think that they can get to 10. I would say I think their floor is 7. I'm between 7 and 10 wins at this point. I can't go beyond 10 because I just think that the way that the second half of their schedule is set up, they have some really, really tough games. And I think that's why people may start saying 11 or 12 wins because I think that we could pile up some wins early on in the season here. And we could very well get to, maybe 5 or 6 wins very fast. But I think once we get into that second half of the schedule, that's where we're going to slow down a little bit. So that's why I say 10.
Yeah, I'm 10 wins is your ceiling. I think the realistic number is 8 to 9. But, you said it perfectly, man. Like, I can see them racking up a bunch of wins and then also racking up a bunch of losses, too. There's a stretch where they play right after the bye. They play 4 road games in 5 weeks, even though none of those opponents are, exactly any great or anything. But there's this stretch in late November and December at Seattle, Green Bay, at Cincinnati. That is brutal. And hopefully they can pile up the wins before then because that might be 3 straight L's on the schedule. So, all right, let's do final thoughts, and let's get out of here. Nice to see you on the show, Mike. Where have you been, man?
I know, right? It has been a while. Just been working, and then I play in a softball league too. So busy schedule.
So that's why you're skinnier. It's the softball.
Yeah.
Nice, huh?
Softball, So, yeah, but it's good to be back on the show. I'm going to be down at the game on Sunday, so if anyone's down there, I'll be down there tailgating, and I'll be going into the game. So I'm expecting the environment to be great. There's probably going to be some Steelers fans there because they seem to travel well, and it's not far from Pittsburgh. So it'll be a good mix of people. Environment will be great. And I guess, what I keep thinking about is what if, for some chance that Wentz manages to win this game. What happens to this city? It's going to be mayhem. People will. It's Philadelphia, so people will start talking about the Super Bowl and saying that we're going to the Super Bowl and all this crazy stuff. But to start 3-0, I don't think I would be any happier if that happened.
Oh, cum would be sprayed everywhere. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? If we start 3-0, oh my God! I thought we were going to start 1-3, and we might start 3-0. That would be amazing, dude. If we start 3-0, though, no talk radio, no television for a week and a half for me. I ain't listening to nobody because we're going into a bye week. And everybody's expectations are going to be ridiculous. I already know it. That people are going to start, like you said, 12 wins? 12? Yeah? Maybe some NFC Championship game action? Yeah? It ain't going to happen, people. All right? They're going to be lucky to even win a playoff game. But, hey, it's nice to dream, I guess. So there you go.
That's right. Hey, we'll see. The best part about this season is there was no expectations. This Carson Wentz thing starting was thrown at us a week before the season even started when we made the trade. So, with Bradford, we were talking about anywhere from 6 to, at best, 8 wins. And now it's just been really a complete turn of events. And whatever happens, happens. You can't be mad because just judging from, the first 2 games and how Carson Wentz has played, I think he's surpassed a lot of people's expectations for how he maybe should be playing at the end of the season, but he's already playing like this at the beginning of the season.
Like, I would have needed a 5-hour energy before every game if Sam Bradford would have been our quarterback. I would have been falling asleep. Not even getting to the second quarter. Like, first quarter, I've been done. Like, snoring. legitimately. So to have Carson Wentz in there, I mean, there's an excitement now, and it's amazing. I mean, we're really not that we don't look forward to the games, but holy fuck, it's only Thursday. I want this game right now. I want to watch it. Damn it! This is what I remember from back in the 2000s, and every week just being like, dude, I can't wait to just watch this team play. Just watch greatness on the field. And if Carson Wentz really lives up to this, Billing, the way he's shown, the way he's the way the signs are right now, how encouraging everything is, dude, we're watching greatness right in front of us. And when you watch greatness, take it in while you can, because the NFL stands for not for long. And it might not be for long. We shall see. Or maybe it'll be a sustained dynasty like the Patriots and all those Super Bowls. You never know. But for Mike Owens, I'm Adrian. Thank you. Enjoy yourselves on Sunday afternoon. And hopefully an Eagles victory will follow. We're out. Peace.
Later.